Well, we have sound. My right hand can still do things, but then my left hand can't. I'm gonna lose it. I mean, I can keep going like this for, you know, as long as I just stay with the basic thumb, I'm okay. But as soon as I try to do anything, my left wrist goes. Same thing with the keyboard. Don't cry about it, Patty. Fucking idiots. They can't go and do that forever. And maybe find another key to do it in. It'd help if I had an accompaniment. Anyway, I'm sitting here being lonely and angry and unhappy and poor. uh, Cash flow has really been improving a lot. You know, I totally didn't need the stimulus check. Completely did not need it for anything except to purchase new capital equipment and inventory. Today was my first full day at the show, and I took in at least $140. $0? I'm gonna stay, motherfuckers. You can't harm me by distorting two simple little facts of my life. Yeah, I almost had sex with a minor, and yeah, my dog. And it's just not fingering the dog. This is how the dog got nookies. She'd ride my palm, or somebody else's, or somebody would give them the leg. You know, she'd do it with her foot. Nobody's fucking that dog. That dog hardly let dogs fuck that dog. She liked to get off. You know, would you deny that a dog that protected you and your friends so well? That, you know, that happens to be like one of the like lesser known secrets of feral people and their relationship with animals. And some of them go the whole route, but it's not a common practice, but it's not as rare as some people would make it out to be. My father used to toss. We had this Chesapeake Bay Retriever that was just like fucked in the head and grabbed everything. I mean, he'd be walking down the street and grab a little old lady. And my father, he just used to toss him the bolster from the couch. Let him hump that. But anyway, getting out of the horrifying things that they can distort. I'll talk about Transjoy. You know, medical science has proven pretty conclusively that same-sex attraction and transgender identities are naturally occurring phenomena within the human genome, and that there's absolutely nothing pathological about any of them. None of them. Intersex body variations. There's at least 38, 39 of them, and there's only a few that require surgical intervention because of urinary or bowel obstruction. The others is strictly aesthetic, and they're mutilating children without their consent. You know, let the kids grow up and see what they got and decide whether they want to keep it or not. What's so hard about that? Excuse me. And the same thing with at least the doctors recognize this with the queer behavior. It's like just leave the kid alone. Let them make their own decisions about how long they're going to wear their hair, about what they're going to wear, what they're going to play with, who they're going to play with. You know, don't be pushing them toward, well, you have a penis, so you have to be a boy. You know, quit that shit. Just back off. Let kids be kids. You know, Native Americans socialize their kids together. They dress them gender neutral, and as the kids grow up, they decide what they want to be. Cool. Nobody gives a shit about if the kid wants to be queer or not, or if a boy wants to be a girl, or excuse me, you do have male and female gametes, but that's where it stops. To be a man or to be a woman is a behavioral thing, and some people some people there's no such thing as a distinctly male or female brain. That's not how the brain's put together. It's a mosaic of different pieces, and there's several of them that there are several control centers in the brain that are understood to be sexually dimorphic, and studies are indicating that transgender people, those areas, those structures in the brain, are more, but still that's some loaded stuff, because the samples are small, and the link between the genes and the nerves and the actual behaviors are not that well understood. But just in general, some people are better suited for the physically and psychologically for the transgender role. By the way, they're born. There's we're not confused. It's like, wow, okay. There's no confusion there. We're sure that they don't match. My brain does not match my balls. Period. My balls should be inside me, doing other things. Transjoy. We're talking about Transjoy. We're different, and end the stigma. That I should read. At this point, I think it's time to read Vanessa Lee Nick's letter. I wonder if I'll be able to. I hope I'll be able to do it without like choking too much, or overdoing it even. Let me see if I can read this. This is just, I forget her son's name. Noah, maybe? I think it's Noah. I think her son is Noah. Debbie Jackson and, Debbie and Avery are like out in front on it because of Avery's National Geographic cover and Debbie's dedication to like transgender equality and protecting trans kids. So this is about Transjoy tonight, and it started with Debbie yesterday. Hey y'all, I live tweeted a hearing in Texas on 2 anti-trans bills all day today. Edit for time correction. The first 3 hours with invited witnesses were trash. But then trans youth, their parents, grandparents, and social workers and ministers and other allies came out in force. There is so much beauty in the trans community, so many precious souls, and they deserve so much better than they are experiencing in legislative sessions across the country right now. One mom talked about the joy in her daughter once she was affirmed and transitioned to school. We need to showcase trans joy more often. So tell me about the trans joy you've seen or experienced, and let's remember the good that exists. And then there's a link here to all her tweets. So for me, trans joy has been seeing transgender children thriving as themselves within happy families. And that's really what brought me out. It took me 20 years to get from like, okay, I need to do this to, okay, I'm somewhere where I can do this. And it was around 2005 that I was seeing all these transition diaries of young teens and young transgender adults that were transitioning with the support of their families, and seeing documentaries about trans kids. And one of them is Living a Transgender Childhood, that starred Josie Romero, who was the transgender daughter of a Davis Monthan Air Force Base fellow and a sergeant and his wife. And seeing these things for me, I met them at the first gem show that I did. They came up to my table, and it took me a moment. I had even seen the video before they had come to the table. It took me a moment to realize that this was that girl, because she was older now even than in the video. Unfortunately, her family broke up, and she and her mom had to go underground, probably for the same kind of reason that Vanessa Lee had to flee to Costa Rica for the safety of her son. Vanessa's letter from Costa Rica to everybody tonight was just, I asked her if she'd let me make it the picture. I had the picture. It's a picture of her and her boy, grinning, just real happy in a tropical setting down there in Costa Rica. And I asked her if she'd let me use the picture and make a meme with the picture and some quotes from what she said tonight. This is just really powerful. There's a lot of anti-trans youth legislation being heard and passed all over the United States in conservative-led states. I see my dear friends fighting. I see your dear friends fighting with each other too. I see you, friends, all over my social media. The look of fear and exhaustion, yet bearing that warrior spirit as the sword and shield for your child. The child whom every parent claims they would die for. Yet trans youth are rejected by their families at alarming rates. I digress. When people ask me why I moved to Costa Rica, my primary answer is always freedom. But not for me, for my child. Although Costa Rica has a ways to go with social acceptance surrounding the trans community, this country is very live and let live. Rarely are human rights issues involved much in politics, not like in the States at least. I wanted freedom for him, and I had the absolute privilege of being able to make this move. And often people will then ask, why didn't you just move to a different state that's more accepting? And I cannot help but think about that mentality of segregation that is so ingrained in the United States whenever someone asks me that. Discrimination is as patriotic as apple pie in the United States. I shouldn't have had to move anywhere for my child to be treated like a human being, with equal rights to medical care and life opportunities, yet here I am. I fled a country that indoctrinates its citizens with the nonsense that everyone there is free, summoning trans kids and their families to wartime and again over to war time and again over basic rights is anti-American. It's unpatriotic. It's the opposite of what the country is supposed to stand for. This rhetoric benefits no one and is harming so many. The absolute rage I feel watching this from afar cannot be expressed fairly in words. Stop politicizing the lives of marginalized communities. Stop making your citizens, your constituents, feel like moving is their only option. Fuck these politicians. Protect trans kids. We're witnessing the first generation of happy transgender people in the history of Western civilization. The law is now firmly on our side with the Bostock versus Clayton County ruling and with the almost certain passing of the Equality Act. They're going to slam that through. There will be enough Republicans to put that through. Well, I've put my reputation as a political commentator and activist organizer, so somebody who goes to bat for the marginalized majority, the minorities, the underserved minorities, I think is what the other side's calling. The oppressed are calling themselves marginalized, and the oppressor is calling us underserved. We're getting closer. So anyway, yeah, and this is where it's at. Don't speak about trans kids until you've spoken to them, and don't really don't. It's the parents do not do this to the children. The children are not confused. The children. Jazz Jennings, from the very first time, from the time she was first talking, insisted she was a girl. I didn't know I wasn't a girl until they told me I couldn't be one. And I know so many people that are like that. The majority, I don't want to put any numbers to it, but there's a very clear majority of transgender people definitely knew what was up. That's something that they had a problem of some kind. They didn't know a lot, not often didn't know what it was, but I'd say a solid majority of transgender people know about themselves by puberty. And a good portion of the people who transition late talk about always having had that nagging feeling down deep inside themselves that it wasn't quite right for them, that they really needed to be a woman or be a man. And that's that deep-seated feeling in your brain that's like been cross-wired for some reason. There's a lot of different reasons that they've sussed out for it happening. There are some mutants in the environment that are making it happen. They're turning the frogs gay. Um, there are numerous genetic um, anomalies, atypical. Um, yeah, I'm going to need to read up a little better to be able to speak off the cuff intelligently about this at this point. There's 39 intersex body variations that have been described. Um, and I don't know. I'm going to need to. I'm going to need to see what's current and what they're saying about mutagens and chemical things that happen during pregnancy. That there's chemical triggers that we all start out with the same stuff, female stuff, and then the XYs differentiate at a certain point, and they've got the chemical pathways pretty well mapped out, and there's just things happen there. Um, for various reasons. DES has definitely caused a lot of intersex sons, and there are a couple of other chemicals that are doing it too. Apparently, PFAs are a terrible threat to human fertility. And again, I need to study that deeper. I can't speak off the cuff about that yet. So moving back into, so we read Vanessa's, we read Debbie's. Let's see, there's probably others. Um, let me see what's in the groups. So there was something going on in one of the groups. Oh, I didn't read Vanessa the response I gave to Vanessa. That's right. Let's read my comment back to her, or some of the others. Here's I quoted some of hers, and then I asked her, "Would you allow me to make a meme from this photo and these words?" And I was on the phone with my mom with this sitting on the screen the whole time. Transgender boomer kids never smiled like that. America's on the brink of civil war, cleanly split between those who prefer tyrannical fascism and the ones who prefer the kinder, gentler neoliberal fascism, with about 15 to 20% assorted queer and indigenous people who aren't at all safe under either variety. The law, medical science, and a solid majority of American citizens are on the side of transgender equality. The Biden-Harris administration is solidly standing up for us, and there will almost certainly be something from the DOJ challenging the invalid premises the laws are based on. Numerous Congress people have transgender children or grandchildren. In 22 years, under Tucson's anti-discrimination ordinance, people don't even notice gender nonconforming people. This is an international tourist town. We celebrate diversity here. If you're a nice person, the more peculiar you are, the better. Let's face it, normal people are usually pretty boring. I hope with the passage of the Equality Act, you'll feel safe enough to at least spend part of the year here. And here is, let's see what, she didn't say what her, she is apparently a cis woman with no children. Not saying up front whether she's not saying anything about her identity or her orientation. And people shouldn't have to. We are what you are, and sleep with who you sleep with, and that's really nobody's business, no stranger's business. These are things that you share with intimate friends. Fuck off with that. Interrogating people about their. Yeah, fuck off. Just back the fuck off of people. Put your own life in order. And that's where my trans joy right now is that I've been putting my life in order. I had two insane people propose marriage to me last year, and left me like in December getting kicked out of my old apartment. So from I've been getting my act together. And Universe is kicking down really kindly. My stones have been selling real well. Let's see if I got a bid on the stones I got up now. Um, I pulled in $140 today, something like that. I didn't really count, and some went out. No bids yet. I have the prices kind of high, but no, that okay, yeah. Oh, I have the price kind of high. I wasn't taking any chances on the big crystal, so I have it like keystoned for the starting bid. Nobody's gone for that yet. Um, let's see if anybody's watching it. It hadn't had a whole lot of views and no watchers. Nobody's that interested. You have to see this crystal in person. It's just an amazing stone. There's not a nick on the tip. I found out today why the stone was hand dug. The guy who had them just, oh yeah, they're in sand. Oh, cool. It turns out that they're also in a Federal Reserve where they don't allow mechanical mining at all. Hand digging only. I sold the last piece of moldavite I had today for $20 a gram, and the guy was tickled pink because he had just paid 40 a gram for a piece at another show. Um, and that's a totally fake. Oh no, that's we're. I'm not. I want to Transjoy, my Transjoy. Um, my mother and my brother and I are family again. Friends, talking loosely, easily. Mom tonight told me that she could tell that I was much more at peace with myself than ever before, and I am. I have all these wonderful friends. Um, they're fair weather friends for the most part, and a lot of them need the emotional support from me more than they can offer me. But most of them are just like fucked up, just in their own ways, and we're friends, and we enjoy each other's company, and we share a lot of information with each other. We teach, we're here to educate and entertain. We're Aesop. We're the artists and educators saving our planet. Live simply so others can simply live. Uh, it's a cool group. Tucson Backyard Gardening. It's a fun group. People talk about all the bullshit that they encounter online. It's you're looking for it. All you have to do is like click and you're gone, and you go find something that's more to your liking. And I've totally surrounded myself with kindred spirit. They love my stuff. I love their stuff. We constantly sharing things with each other that we didn't know before. Let's see what's up in one heartbeat. Not much. That's all from earlier today. Oh, it was a fresh. That's not even available. Yeah. I wonder why. They're giving me late notifications. These people haven't posted in days. Hours. This 28 minutes ago, I don't see it. Huh. I'll probably be asleep by 10 o'clock. But then I'll be back up at P o'clock, and P o'clock will be at about 4. I don't sleep. I do not sleep 8 hours ever anymore. Haven't in a long time. 4 to 6, and then 1 or 2 another time in the day. That's a big piece of glass. Yeah, so Transjoy, gender euphoria. I don't know if I ever get there. I mean, I really got a problem between my brain and my balls. Big problems between my brain and my balls. Um, I just don't agree. All nerve endings are in the wrong place. Just totally wrong place. I close my eyes and I can't see the thing. When my eyes open, I don't want to see the thing. But I'm trans, and people are accepting that. I mean, that's the only thing. All my life, I grew up in the neighborhood, Chicago's Lakeview, and we had transgender neighbors and transsexual neighbors. Had the facial surgery and implants, and I don't know what they had going on in their pants, but you could sure see that they were, and really not nearly as sophisticated as the medical technology that they have for that today. So they were even more obviously transgender than someone like Caitlyn Jenner. She easily clocked. Um, I I'm easily clocked, and I don't care. It's kind of fun to like just be in a crowd and have people walk up and get it right, and other people walk up and get it wrong, and then when you tell them no, and then they're okay, cool, and that's just wonderful to be able to be out in public and be myself and have people perceive me as they are, and then understand my wishes and treat me like Tommy. You know, uh, don't go and be challenging the validity. Give me all these validity debates. Well, fuck, I was born this way. And if you think I'm just all of a sudden at age 60 saying, "Oh, I'm transgender," that ain't what's happening, boys and girls. I'm sorry. And I'm feeling like I'm starting to ramble, and I've pretty much said what I want to say. It's like time to end the stigma, end the stigma. Or, just end the stigma. Everybody has the right to body autonomy and self-expression, and the golden rule obligates everybody to like accept and respect that person's self characterizations. And unless they're obviously like a clear and present danger to themselves or others, it's not your place to try and tell them that they're not doing the right thing for themselves, or to try and draft legislation to make it illegal for them to do these things to themselves. And on that note, if you can either be like you meet a transgender person, you got three choices. You like accept and start to communicate with them as if they are a member of the gender class that they had expressed, um, or you can leave. Because like if you stay, things are changing. Things are changing a lot, and the bystanders. I saw it happening here a couple of times where the bystanders closed in between the trans person and the people that were harassing them. If you don't like it, don't look, go away. You know, we're not. You know, I'm not forcing my lifestyle on you. You're trying to force your lifestyle on me. Okay. Happy day. Peace. Thanks for watching.